Thank you, Seredos. And now joining us for this conversation, we have Sekuniela Mapeja, Executive Director, Lesotho Council of NGOs, Maseru, Lesotho. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you very much. And, I'm happy that you have me in New Central this evening.
Thank you for joining us. So, Sekuniela, members of Lesotho Parliament are looking to reclaim swaths of land. Can you tell us what is behind these claims, and are there merits to the claims and demands from the lawmakers?
Yes, this issue has been protracting for a very long time since independence. You will recall that you want to know, and your viewers, that it's part of Chapter 1 of the Constitution tells about the territorial definition of the country, and says these are the current borders, and those that from time to time can be proclaimed, promulgated by Parliament, they will form part of Lesotho. That has a long history of colonial era, where Lesotho, the current Lesotho as it stands today, was part of these larger parts of South Africa that the Parliament is claiming. And there has been UN resolutions to the matter, but it appears after independence, there was not so much urge from the leaders to claim these lands, but they have used the slogan that once they come to power, they are going to negotiate and reclaim the land. But after they are sent to power, that never happened. But today in Parliament, this is the 11th Parliament. One of the smallest parties that came to Parliament has the leader has been going to UN, has been doing a lot of advocacy before they became a member of Parliament. Now they are a member of Parliament. They have put a motion to that effect that they want to government to seriously invoke the UN resolutions from 1976, 1985 that talked about land. And also now, your viewers would also want to know that South Africa is talking about land appropriation and without compensation. So some quarters of Lesotho are saying that when that happens, they should also know that parts of the land also belong to Lesotho. Okay. But also now the people are divided on the matter, because this comes when the economy of the country is so bad, is doing so bad that a number of people, especially the young ones, the youth, they were thinking and advocating, a number of them, that maybe there is a free movement. Some were saying maybe the country becomes part of South Africa to solve some of these problems. But a number of people, although that has not been tested by a referendum, but I would say the larger majority will still want the country to be as it is. And this has ignited a lot of a debate in the country and excitement, a lot of it, that at least now Parliament is talking, no longer talking bread and butter issues, but talking about the economic issues that I would say Lesotho is different after this debate.
Okay, now looking at this, you mentioned the fact that a minority parliamentarian is the one bringing up this particular debate in Parliament. First of all, how popular is it, and how do you see the response from South Africa? Because there have been different interviews, and some of the people in South Africa are saying not to take this claim seriously. So how do you see the relationship of Lesotho and South Africa going forward, and the responses that you've been hearing from South Africa?
Yeah, I think looking into the debate in Parliament and listening to the ruling party and ruling parties, I could say they were playing it very safe, so that when this debate gets heated, then they will be saying, you will recall and you can understand how we debated this matter, because they wanted to protect the very same relationship, the way the government, the ruling party debated it. Of course, this may not see the light of the day as it were, because the minority party and the parties in opposition are invoking the UN resolutions, and some of these resolutions are more than 30 to 40 years old. And we know that of late, not a number of UN decisions have been implemented by countries. So it has caused that debate here back home in South Africa. And of course, you are right to say in some quarters in South Africa, they are saying that maybe that is only hallucination or joke. But for us, we see that as one step towards, even if it is not going to fruition, but it's one step towards negotiating the relationship, negotiating the border, the cross-border issues between Lesotho and South Africa. I think leaders for the longest time have not been discussing the issues very seriously because we are unique here in Lesotho. The only neighbor we have is South Africa, and you would want to know that only a quarter of our border has a river. The rest, you can just cross. You are here, the next person next to you, that is South Africa. So in order for us to manage that, I think the leaders have not been taking it seriously. So I think this would now make those discussions very serious, and South Africa is going to take it so seriously when it's talking about free movement of people and goods in the two countries.
Okay, finally, because we're far run out of time, do you think that this issue should be paramount in Lesotho's assembly? I mean, you talked about the other issues that Lesotho is facing. Should this be a paramount issue for the parliament?
Well, not necessarily this issue, but the issue of relationships between Lesotho and South Africa it should be a paramount issue. We have a lot to offer to South Africa as Lesotho, and South Africa has a lot to gain from us. And as a result, it shouldn't be a one-way traffic issue. It should be both countries benefiting. And the historical issues that indeed these lands historically belong to Lesotho, that should not be wished away. And maybe instead of saying those places come to Lesotho as they were, because there are people that have to be consulted, but there should be some sort of serious compensation about that, either in a economic relationship between these countries, so that one does not feel that it's a minnow in another one's belly. So I think the issues of economic relationship between the two countries, cross-border issues, these are issues that need to be preoccupying our 11th Parliament.
Definitely. Thank you so much. We'll definitely keep our eyes fixed on this issue. Thank you for joining us on the conversation, Sekuniela.
I'm glad and thankful that you.
All right, now this is where we'll draw the curtains for today's edition of The Conversation. We just had finished discussions in Lesotho, where members of parliament have claimed and sought to reclaim 4 territories in South Africa. Well, we'll see how that pans out. Do stay with us next week for another edition of The Conversation. I am Rita Almodia. Bye-bye.